Okay, at this time, I would like to call the Hardin County Board of Education meeting to order. And if you'll please stand, we'll say the pledge to the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. And board commitments,
I got them.
you got them?
That's Dom's job.
To improve our effectiveness, the Hardin County Board of Education commits to keep children first, listen, be prepared, be professional, demonstrate financial stewardship, represent the entire district, and support district goals and support board decisions.
All right, thank you, Dawn. And recognitions, Mr. John Wright's going to take care of that.
Yes, sir. We have the HCS Stronger Together Award, and as you can tell by the stack on your desk, Mr. Chairman, we have quite a few of those to give out tonight, which is a great thing. So
Very good.
if you'll pass that resolution, sir, we'll get started on those.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, let's first start with our students, as we always do and should. We'd like to bring up John Hardin High School students Meg Slatton, Sierra Lutz, and Jacob Maddox. Are you guys here? Okay, come on up. Come on up. These young men and women, what they did is they worked hard over the summer to paint a mural in the office at New Highland Elementary School and a very large mural at John Hardin High School. Did you do one at Bluegrass as well? No, okay. At New Highland and John Hardin. So if you haven't seen those murals, I would encourage you to do so. They are absolutely beautiful. And so let's give these folks a round of applause. The mural consists of two, New Highland anyway, of two bulldog puppies with the phrase, "Excellence through education." So thank you all for your hard work this summer, free of charge. That's the best kind we like. So. All right.
And high quality.
That's right. And high quality, absolutely. So if you guys will take a seat, we'll bring up some more John Hardin students. These students, Caleb Fitzgerald, Markelius Hill, and Deshaun Johnson. Come on up, please. These young men, they also worked hard during the summer, free of charge, again, our best price, to reorganize the New Highland Elementary School Media Center. These students also donated their time in removing and replacing books, moving shelves and bookcases, and helping to streamline the media center functions. So they use their backs and their muscles. So thank you all very, very much. For the parents, grandparents, guardians of these students, will you stand up so we can recognize you, and thank you for instilling great work ethic in our students. And, as you all know, the mantra at John Hardin is family. Isn't that right, Mr. Wells? Yes, sir. And family is certainly what embodies the John Hardin student body there. So
We even got a big smile out of the principal back there a while ago.
Yes, sir. I think he's pretty proud and has reason to be. So now let's bring up our staff members. Let's bring up Dale Clark, Paula Kugel, Dave Logston. If you're here, just come on up. Kelly Lucas, Jim Mao, Whitney Patton, Nicole Sunderland, Frederick Thomas, Renee Thomas, and Ted Vinson. And these are members of the North Hardin High School staff, and we'll tell you about them here in just a second. So, thank you all for being here, and let's tell you a little bit about what they have done to earn this award. At the start of every school year, there of course it's no secret there are new members of the North Hardin High School staff, as there are at every school. Therefore, the members of the custodial staff that are standing before you today took the time to write notes, give apples, and offer assistance beyond the scope of their regular duties to every member of the North Hardin High School team. The ladies and gentlemen that are standing before you today worked tirelessly to ensure that every member of the Trojan family knew that they were loved and respected. And we love and respect you all. Thank you so much for what you do for us. thank you. And again, that family is not just at John Hardin, it's everywhere across our district. You can tell that's what it took at John Hardin, or at North Hardin there. And now let's bring up, if we could have Derek Peters and Greg Lowe come up. These gentlemen represent the Kentucky 86 Fire Department, and we'll tell you what the fire department did, especially Chief Peters here. On a warm day in mid to late September, a water line break caused a water outage at Cecilia Valley Elementary School in Musculum, and the residential area all around it. Our friends with the Hardin County Water District Number 2 immediately gave us updates regarding the outage and how long that the school could be out of water. Realizing the outage time could be possibly an extended period, these folks from the Kentucky 86 Fire Department soon arrived at Cecilia Valley with water to help the school with its needs. Now you can imagine an elementary school without water for an extended period of time. Fortunately, water service returned sooner than expected and the water wasn't needed. However, officials and volunteers from the Kentucky 86 Fire Department are to be commended for their dedication and placing a priority on the needs of Cecilia Valley Elementary School, its students and staff. And they just did this on their own. They just came up and said, hey, we're here to help. So thank you. We truly appreciate you. Thank you for what you do for our students. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Focus on academics.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Looks like everybody's staying. That's good. As you guys know, that last year when test scores came in, the fall of last year, about 12 months ago, we were 28% of our students were proficient or distinguished in the area of writing. We were 17 percentage points below the state average, and some of the Miss Morgan asked us to come up with a process or way to focus on that a little better to improve, and I'm proud to say that we jumped above the state average this year in elementary school writing. And I got to give credit to one person to start off with, and that's Stacy Bronner. She's here with us tonight. Without her encouragement, let's go ahead and wave there, Stacy. She encouraged me to take a trip with her to learn about a process for students peer assessing with each other, and this wouldn't have happened without her being in classrooms and encourage our elementary schools to really get this rolling. But we do have the principal that helped us pilot this program, the full truckload at a school, and I'm going to introduce Ms. Carlina Sharon here, who was interim last year at Cecilia Valley, where they had 77% of their kids proficient or distinguished. That's significantly above the state average of 40%. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her get some things going here for us tonight.
And last year, as interim principal of Cecilia Valley, I had the opportunity to go to Lawler Elementary in Grayson County with Stacy Bronner and Mr. Sutton. And I had the pleasure of taking two teachers with me, and that would be Lisa Moore and a fourth grade teacher who's not here, Tracy Gibson. So when we watched the process, when we came back to the school, we discussed the process and decided what are we going to do. So this wonderful team of Anita Fisher, fifth grade, Lisa Moore, Deborah Lewis, decided we are going to give it a try. We're going to do everything we can to make that work for us. So each and every day they did, faithfully. They worked on writing Monday through Thursday using this process. Our writing scores in 2016-17 were 31.6% proficient and distinguished. This past year, our writing scores were 77.6% proficient and distinguished. And it wouldn't have happened without Stacy taking us where she took us and them being willing to take what they observed and do it every single day in the classroom. So they're going to share a little bit of the process with you. And we will introduce Braxton Loeffler, one of our wonderful fifth grade students at Cecilia Valley. So.
Thank you.
And when I first went to the elementary school to observe with Ms. Sharon and Mr. Sutton, I was a little skeptical just about the whole process because they had 100+ students in the cafeteria all writing, and I was wondering, first of all, how to manage that many students. But when we went there, it was amazing that they were all interacting. They were They were giving positive feedback to each other. They were being very constructive with their, how to make their writings better. And so anything that I asked those students, they were able to do. They could tell me what the rubric was for. They could tell me what the colors were for. They knew exactly what they were talking about. And amazing, they were all engaged and they were all on task. And the best thing about it was that they all truly loved writing. And that was certainly something that we were missing at Cecilia Valley. At Cecilia Valley, we thought we were great writing teachers, but clearly we were missing something, because 3 years ago, we had, out of all of 5th grade, we had one distinguished writer. And then 2 years ago, we had one student we thought was a phenomenal writer, and when her scores came back, she was proficient. So clearly, we were missing something, so we knew that we had to make a change. So when I came back after the observation, I shared with Ms. Fisher and Ms. Lewis this process. And they too were skeptical like I was. But I went through it, showed them how the highlighting was, and told them, let's just give it a try, because we need to make some improvements. And so we did. We showed the rubric with the students. They knew how to do a 3.8 because we'd been working on that since August. So all we had to do was show them really how to start a strong beginning paragraph, put the 3.8 paragraphs in there, and then finish with a closing, which it was really just, we had a recipe. We knew how to do it, but we just didn't really have a recipe, and that's a good way to put it, because they had a process now that they could follow, and they used that, and they depended on that. And once we got the structure down, we were able to work on the quality and the meat of their writing, and it just kind of flowed. And so one of the big takeaways that I took from the observation was that they did away with an organizer, which so many times, especially during testing, the students spend so much time on that organizer that they don't have time to finish. They're tired. They're worn out by the time they get to writing that piece. And then a lot of times I noticed they weren't even finishing that portion of the assessment because they had run out of time. So the time piece was a huge factor for us because they had 30 minutes to do it. And at the beginning, it was like awful. They were complaining. They wanted to go, my hand hurts, I need a Band-Aid, I have a blister. We heard all the whining and the moaning, and we kept on and on. And what we did notice too, we were kind of getting more bang for our buck, because the fact that we always say we don't have enough time for our students to read during the day, but what we found was because they're peer editing every day with each other, they're also reading to each other, and they're getting really positive feedback, and they know this process. And our students, our 5th graders now are going down to 3rd grade, and they're helping them with what they're doing, and they're doing the same thing. So I think by the time they get to 5th grade, it's going to be, it's just going to flow a whole lot smoother. And Ms. Fisher's going to share a little bit now about the folders that she passed out.
So every Monday and Wednesday, our students get a new prompt. All the 5th graders go together to the cafeteria, and on Monday and Wednesday they write, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays they peer edit. We group them for peer editing in lots of different ways. Sometimes we do a strong writer with a writer that needs more assistance. Sometimes we go across homeroom. Sometimes they get to pick their partners. But the students learn from their peers. Not only do the students learn from their peers, but while writing the previous day, they know, tomorrow one of my friends is going to be reading this. So they don't want to be sitting by their friend with them reading a piece that's not well written. So we think that encourages them to do their best also. And then also, it's so cool to watch them peer edit, because they'll read each other's paper and they'll go, hey, that's a great transition word. I think I'll use that one, So we have a lot of honestly and well, wait, that's not all. They'll start their second paragraph with, wait, that's not all. This is another reason for my opinion. They also like to point out fragments. They notice missing details or missing punctuation. So the writing folders that I passed out, we keep the students' papers in there. It helps students organize each of their writing pieces. They date them, so it shows improvement over time, and it shows the different types of writings, different types of writing. We give a little bit of our success to those folders, because if you notice, it has the transition words for an opinion piece, the transition words for an informative piece, and a transition words for narratives. I had collected those folders today before writing at 1 o'clock, and when we went down for writing, one of my students was like, Mrs. Fisher, I need my folder. And I was like, okay, it's coming. So in the folder as well, you'll find the writing pieces. There's the prompt, the rubric, and the student work. So far this school year, our students have written 16 pieces. I know some of the teachers in the district came to our school a couple weeks ago, and they said, are these the writing pieces from 4th grade and you've put them in here? And we were like, no, they've already done this much writing in 5th grade. So they were really surprised about that. And then also another strategy, just last week, we wrote about the seatbelt law. Do they think the seatbelt law should be a law or not? They really struggled with that one. So we went back to the classroom, we did some brainstorming, we talked about what the first paragraph should look like, and when we did writing the next day, we did the same prompt again, and the improvement was really tremendous. At the end of last year, when I handed my students their writing folders, I took them out of the folder and just handed them their papers, and so we've used the folders for 2 years. But when I handed the papers to one student, he said, do you want me to pass these out? And I said, no, honey, those are all yours. And he was really, impressed with himself that he had written so much. This is Miss Lewis, our special ed teacher, and she works with us in the cafeteria as well.
As far as the special needs students that require some accommodations, various accommodations, they also experience some progress. They, even though that was through perseverance and confidence, and that was the key thing for their success was confidence. We had to build that first and foremost. And although the students may not have written 16 pieces as their peers, but they still walked away with the tools that, in order that they needed to be successful in to write a 3.8 paragraph. And so we celebrate their newfound confidence and also their desire to persevere. That alone was an accomplishment for them. And that was very key to their success. And sometimes success for them was just going from, I hate writing, I don't want to do it, to, are we writing today? I mean, that alone was an accomplishment. And this afternoon, we asked some of the students in the classroom, we told them, remember at the beginning of the year when we told you that you would be expected to write a 5-paragraph essay in 30 minutes by May 2019, and they all thought it was impossible, and they were like, what? But now they can all do it. And so here's what some of their answers were when we asked them. We said, what has changed? And they said, well, I have confidence, we've practiced, I've learned from my mistakes. Our organizer, our rubric helped us. We had organized them, but it's actually a rubric. We build up our stamina to write longer. Everyone's doing it, so I can do it too. What if my teacher reads one of my paragraphs out in the class? My teacher taught me how to do it and showed us easy ways. If it's bad, my teacher will help me redo it and encourage me. More practice is like how it got us better. We got used to doing it in 30 minutes. We know the time limit that we have, and we adjusted to it. We have more urgency. We keep trying. We believe that we can do it, and at the beginning of the year, we didn't think we could.
So my students, I told them that we were coming here. Oh, I'm sorry. My students, I told them that we were coming here tonight because of our writing scores, and they get kind of excited. I said, I need your help. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to say tonight. So I said exactly at the top of this paper, remember at the beginning of the year when we told you expected to write a 5-paragraph essay in 30 minutes, and you're like, I can't do that. I said, but now you all are, and it's easier. And so as they were raising their hand and I was calling on them, I was sitting at my computer typing up these comments, and I was like, that is really good. That's really good. So, those are straight from their mouth. That is exactly, quote for quote, exactly what they said this afternoon. So this This is Braxton, one of our great 5th grade students this year. And we called him to the teacher table today also. And I said, Braxton, I want you to get to talk tonight and talk to them about your writing and how the way we're doing writing this year has helped you. So he talked to me and I typed up what he was going to say, and so these are his words.
The writing makes kids a lot more successful because they're able to learn about how they can write more successfully. We are doing on-demand writing, which is a 5-paragraph essay, and that will improve kids' confidence and endurance in writing. Kids like writing a lot more because they have enough confidence and endurance that they can write almost anything now. If they can write a lot more, then they can have a lot of confidence and endurance. And when they get to then when they get to West Hardin, their writing scores are going to be off the charts. That way, they can be the best writers that they can be. In conclusion, I think every single school in Hardin County, and maybe the whole state, should do on-demand writing like this too. That way, when they get to college, their professors will look at their writing scores and be amazed at how good of writers they are. They will be accepted into college, and then they will have a very bright future ahead of them.
What is this? What does this mean? This right here?
Yeah, the students have all learned the colors, and so the pink is the topic sentence and the closing sentence.
Okay.
The yellow is the exam, the detail, and then the green is the support. So it's topic sentence, detail support, detail support, detail support, closing sentence. So they do that for all the 3.8 paragraphs. And then the rubric is at the back, and they use that to give each other points.
We're gonna see a little bit of sample here. We're just gonna show you just 2 minutes. What is this? Give a useful video here.
Could you say like more, like since you say lastly and all that, could you like give it more of a like bigger vocabulary word? Maybe like
Or these are transition words. I can't really think of any transition words.
well you could write
Just lastly.
overall.
That's a conclusion.
Yeah. You could use that for overall. You could put following.
So instead of lastly, put furthermore.
You could put furthermore, yeah. Furthermore would go really good. And last, you have robotics.
Now you said like, for example.
I would say, yeah, that's probably a fragment.
That's a fragment.
So, yeah, that's a fragment. So you have a pulley, well, I don't know. So your conclusion, just look at it. Another extra pulley that we have as a Cedar Valley is teams. But you don't have your 3 topics. Okay. Oh wait, no, you don't get it because you don't have the 3. So that'd be I'd miss my conclusion. Which one? Would I miss all 3 of these? No, I'd only 3 topics into. Yeah, I'd only miss this one. So I have 27. You know how good that is? You used to get like 16. Yeah, I know. Out of 5 weeks, that's how much you've learned. You used to only write like 4th grade. 4th grade, you would get like 2 points. Now you're almost getting all of them, but we've only had 5 weeks to do this, and everybody in the 5th grade is already starting to understand the.
So, as you can see, I want to see, I know it's been a little long-winded, and I apologize for that, but you almost have to see the whole process. This is going to be going on in all 12 of our elementary schools. We've got middle schools coming next week to visit this process. We're going to be transitioning from one level to the next, and I think it's going to help our scores get even better from one level to the next. So, kids need to be able to express themselves in verbal form, in written form. Last year, my daughter was signed up for scholarships. Every scholarship opportunity she had to sign up for required an essay. So I always have about 32,000 reasons why writing those essays were important. Because she decided to sign up for a school that cost $37,000. And having those scholarships sure did help. So thank you all tonight.
Thank you. Great job. Do you need the students' folders back? It's interesting. They do some good, really good answers to the questions. Huh? You gonna give me a test? Oh, no. Okay. Construction updates, and I don't think Rob is here tonight, but we are progressing on the schools. We're still doing some meetings to determine what we like to have and what we can afford and all the things that goes with that. Lincoln Trail site did get finalized, I think, this past week, and we're really close on the East Hardin site on getting it finalized maybe next week or so. So we're making progress. And I skipped recognition of visitors. Anyone sign up, John? None? Okay. Thank you. So we're down to the consent agenda, and we heard the results of our audit today at the noon meeting, and I'd like for Jessica to come up and give us everyone a little recap on that didn't hear how our audit was. We thought it was really well, and we're proud of it. So,
yes, as you said, Brian Willisley presented today at lunch. He had another board meeting tonight in Simpson County to attend. So we appreciate all that Stiles Carter and Brian does. We have worked with them for several years. They're always great. They always come out here, do all of our trainings, and we're very appreciative of what they do for us. As Brian said, we got what we call in accounting terms an unmodified opinion, which means a very clean audit. We had no major findings, and all of our federal programs, nothing major on any of those. 12 of our schools had no audit comments. Those that did were just small little procedural, no signatures on paperwork and that sort of thing. So we're striving to get everybody on that list. We've set some goals. We've got people out doing some trainings and gone and talked to the principals and bookkeepers. But basically, Brian said we're in good shape, and he was pleased with everything. So
Good deal.
great. And I think we heard some results that everybody knows how to use the red book now to get past all of the fundraisers and so forth. And
well, now that we learn it, we're meeting next Friday to figure out how to change it.
to change it? Okay.
So yeah, that's typically how it goes. About every 5-6 years we meet and they change it again. So as soon as we get everything kind of figured out and trained, they'll go and change it on us again. But
I really didn't want to hear that part of it.
well, you've got me and Brian on the committee, so we'll fight.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
We did have a great audit, and we're glad it turned out that way. Our financial team does a good job, and we appreciate it. Okay. Any questions or anything? The contract for the North Hardin High School indoor hitting facility was a little over what had been budgeted, and they're reworking that. There's going to be, we think, some more donations. We know the North Hardin team at school is working hard on getting some more donations, and we think that it'll be fine. Just a matter of getting approval back from, I think it's still in the state hand.
Well, tonight we're asking for your approval of the negotiated bid.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So they renegotiated with the contractor and got some pricing down, and I think there's going to be some work that will be donated, different things, electrical or whatever, to help out on the cost of it. So it's pretty much a go. We know that, like I said, they've all worked hard, and it's going to be no cost to the district. It's going to be funded by a donor and fundraisers from the school. So keep up the good work. We'll get it done. Anyone have anything else they want to bring up or pull out?
No, it all looks pretty routine to me.
Yeah, it was kind of like a short consent agenda tonight.
With that said, I think I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay,
Second.
have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any other questions, clarifications? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. In action items, I don't think we have any action items tonight. New business? Any new business? And superintendent report?
Really, just want to talk about our transition coaches. Using Title I funds, we have transition coaches who will be working mainly at our high schools, but also at our middle and elementary for those transitions, even with North Park students, going from preschool to kindergarten, kindergarten to first grade, which will mean for 4 of our schools having that entrance point. But mainly at the high schools, they will be working with our students, making sure we are sending students away from high school with either a ready to go on to college or with the career pathway in hand so they can be successful as they leave high schools. So these transition coaches will be doing parent meetings to help high school parents learn about scholarships, to help high school parents learn about college entrance exams, learning how to write that paragraph for those essays when they choose those. And from our Parent Advisory Council the other night, we found there's a great need for parents, especially those moving in with the military, to have an understanding of what's required from Kentucky colleges, but then also if a student chooses to go out of state, if we have they have dual credit classes, how those would transfer to out-of-state colleges. So when those transition coaches offer meetings at the school, I highly encourage the parents to attend those. It doesn't require you to have a senior in high school, but if you have a high school student anywhere in 9th through 12th grade, it would be very helpful for you to attend those meetings. And we will be doing more transitioning with our 8th grade students this year to make sure they are prepared for when they go into high school, so that they are leaving college and or career certified. So a great appreciation to the high school principals and to those transition coaches for the hard work they're putting into helping our students to increase their potential success as they move forward. That's it.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we have executive session. We don't
No,
need,
sir.
we're through with that. And so October the 25th is the 4th Region KSBA meeting, and November the 5th, office is closed, and November the 6th, everybody go vote, okay?
Yes.
And that's about it. So, if you're all ready,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for coming.
That is very